What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over what should be the last title update of Madden 20, the last big update before the developers kind of shift full gear into Madden 21. We know that there's got to be something coming because some of the devs have kind of alluded to some of the things the changes that could be coming in. Based off last year, we did get that one last update at the end of February / early March. I can't remember. I think it might have been early March. So first week of March is kind of when I'm thinking this update's going to come out. So we're going to get into like what could possibly be changing and all of that good stuff. If you are new to the channel, however, and you want to stay up to date on all of the latest Madden news, especially for Madden 21 that's going to be rolling out very soon, probably going to have some leaks coming out soon for that as well, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you never miss any of those important uploads. So I'll get into the gameplay stuff, which is going to kind of be the bulk of this. I'll get into that last, but we'll just kind of talk about some quick things first. So I know for sure there's definitely at least one more Playbook update coming. That last Playbook update to kind of hold us over until Madden 21, because they said they were going to do this a few times this year. Really, I can only kind of recall 3 times that they did anything with playbooks this year. They had a very small few plays added at the beginning of the year. Then they had the first update that brought the new defensive formations, and then a couple, few different plays on offense. And then the last one we got was the NFL Live playbooks, which is what is in game now. It's separate from the regular team playbooks. So I'm not sure if they're going to try to combine that or do something, make the NFL Live playbooks the new team playbooks with the last update, but there's definitely going to be some new plays added. We've seen them on Twitter talking about the specific play that the Chiefs used in the Super Bowl, that it's now going to be in game, the play that they used, the big play to Tyreek Hill. So there's definitely going to be more playbook stuff coming because they said they were going to do it. They kind of alluded to it being around 5 times, and really, to be quite honest, we only got 2 really significant playbook updates so far. Maybe 3, so they're definitely going to at least do one more of those. That's probably going to be the big kind of selling point of the last title update, so definitely going to get some playbook stuff coming. Now I'm going to get into the rest of the updates in terms of player likeness, franchise, gameplay, and all that, but first, let's hear a quick word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks in the world, but they also have a slew of other offerings such as podcasts, exclusive Audible originals that you won't find anywhere else, and more. You can get started right now with a 30-day free trial at audible.com/ERW, or you can text ERW to 500-500. Now, what I love about Audible is that you can listen to it anywhere, like while you're at the gym, for example, or heck, I even listen to it while I'm playing Madden sometimes. I'm currently listening to the Steve Young audiobook, My Life Behind the Spiral, which I must say has been absolutely amazing so far. I'm a sports junkie, so those are the audiobooks that I tend to go after. But no matter what you're into, Audible literally has something for everybody. Start listening with a 30-day free trial, and your first audiobook plus 2 Audible originals are free. Visit audible.com/ERW or text ERW to 500-500. Alright guys, so getting right back into it, player likeness. I do believe we will get one more player likeness update because, quite honestly, the last, I want to say, 3 updates, there's really been no player likeness. They might have been one person here, one person there, but they haven't done another batch. And they obviously still have a bunch more face scans to get into the game. So I do think we'll get one last player likeness update, possibly even equipment update too, but definitely some player likeness stuff because that stuff rolls over into 21. So it's not like, when you patch the gameplay, that's just specific for this year and how this year's game is playing, because next year they're going to retool things. But in terms of stuff like face scans or equipment, that stuff, if you put that in Madden 20 now, that still, helps you next year because it's less stuff that you have to put into the game at launch next year. It's less stuff that you have to patch into the game next year as well, because we always want more equipment. We want the accurate face scans, and that stuff rolls over. So I do think we will definitely get at least one more, somewhat of a small batch of face scans, maybe 10 to 20 of them, to kind of finish the year out, because they definitely still have some guys that they haven't put in the game yet that they do have their face scans for. And in terms of equipment, we've seen them do a pretty decent job the last 2 years of adding equipment all throughout the year. They did say at the beginning of the year that mouthpieces were a possibility. They didn't promise it, they didn't guarantee it, but they said at the end of the year it could possibly happen. They also talked about kind of the issue with the striped socks. A lot of people want them to be adjustable. That was something else they also said would possibly happen at the end of the year. So there's still a chance for that. Don't want to get people's hopes up, but they did say there was a chance, so that could possibly be in this last update as well. In terms of franchise, I doubt franchise is going to get anything new, but I know that there's still some bugs. There's still a few franchise bugs. They have fixed a lot of them throughout the year, of course, but there's still a few more that they haven't tackled yet, and I'm pretty sure they're going to tackle those in the last title update because, they don't want to let that linger, because there's still people that's going to be playing into May and June. There's people that play year-round, and they want to make sure that those bugs are cleaned up, and if not, that's not going to go over well with the fans. Now let's get into the gameplay. That's the most important part of the game, and it's the part of the game that probably needs the most work, right? Some might argue franchise, but I think gameplay is always needing the most work. So the pass game, the pass game has been kind of difficult all year in terms of, relative to how easy the run game is. And there's just a lot of things in the game that make it harder to be a passer. That's not to say you can't be a good passer, but there's a lot of little things in the game that makes passing much harder than running this year, and that's why people run the ball so much. That's why it's been the meta all year, and that's why it continues to dominate. But now, as the game progresses, especially for the people on the Ultimate Team side of things, right, the competitive play and stuff like that, it gets even worse because the players that are coming out are so much better. But when you look at the release times of the QB, when you look at, you get, pressure and accurate throws, you get quick throw and accurates, the spacing on the field, the leverage isn't respected. You could have a guy line up to the side of Tyreek Hill, and he can still bail out and run with Tyreek Hill, even though Tyreek Hill has the leverage. There's a lot of little things in the pass game that need to be fixed, and from what I've seen, some developers, in certain Twitch chats and things that they've said, they're still looking to try to make this more balanced because this is the last update of the year. And for the people that's going to play this game for the next 5 months, it's going to be miserable if the pass game stays the way it is, because it's going to just continue to be a run fest, and anybody that wants to have a little bit of fun and throw the ball around, they're going to be penalized for it because of how the game is currently set up. So one thing I can see them possibly doing is speeding up the release times. Even though making the release times more accurate this year was supposed to be a big deal, it's kind of backfired because the way people play the game for the last couple years is they will blitz 7 people and they will put an 8th guy in the box to confuse the offensive line, and you can blitz 7 and it's very hard to block. It's not impossible to block, but consistently block, it doesn't happen because the way people set these blitzes up with contains and kind of hovering in the box, they can dumb out your blockers. You can't consistently block any of these because sometimes, at least half the time, a guy's just going to come in untouched, and that's just how the game works this year. So when you add that with the fact that release times of QBs are slow, and you get those pressure and accurate throws, because you're almost always under pressure this year if you're playing anybody that knows what they're doing, it makes it almost impossible to pass sometimes. And then when you add that into the fact that, like I said, for the Ultimate Team crowd, all of the cornerbacks and the defensive backs have 99 zone, 99 speed, threading the needle's hard enough as it is without 7 guys in your face with a slow release time. So I think the ability to speed up release times is clearly there because it can be, there's abilities in the game that speed up release time, like Gunslinger. So maybe they speed up release times across the board. Maybe they get rid of pressure and accurate, which I think would be a really good thing because it's very random. You just get a random bad throw, but you're always under pressure because of how people are playing the game. You have to realize how people are playing your game, and you have to make those adjustments to make the game better. So I do think those are 2 things that we could see adjusted in the pass game, just to kind of ease that burden, because people are not going to stop blitzing 7 and glitching out the offensive line with the 8th guy in the box. That's going to be what people do for the rest of the year. So you need to do something on offense to give people that pass, the ability to get the ball out quick, because you can know the blitz is coming, and sometimes you literally can't get the ball out hot. You can't hit your check down or your hot read or your flat route because the windups are so exaggerated sometimes. So that's something I could see them doing. I did see RG mention in a Twitch chat in terms of the salary cap mode, which is the competitive mode right now, that they might consider tweaking the passing abilities and lowering the salary cap on passing abilities, because that'll at least give the guys that do want to be pass first, it gives them a little bit more of an edge to kind of beef up the rest of their team if you lower down some of the abilities, like the passing abilities, like the certain routes that receivers can get or certain things that QBs can get. So that's something to look out for as well. Another thing I see a lot of people talking about in the run game is the eye tight formation. The flip glitch has been there all year. because basically you can kind of like flip the play a certain way and reset it, and you mess up the man defense, because most people use man defense to stop the run because it is by far the best run defense this year, like cover zero and setting it up a certain way. But the eye tight formation has been a glitch fest all year, because if you motion and flip certain ways, you can get the man defense all jumbled up, and it gives you incredible numbers in the run game to the side that you're running. And you can try to reset your defense, but sometimes that doesn't work either. So I definitely think that's something they're going to address in the update as well. I think they're going to make it to where you can't glitch out with the eye tight formation anymore. I think that's got to be high on their priority list, because if you fix that one formation, the run game would take a significant hit, because that has been the best run formation all year because of the fact that you can glitch it so easily. If they can remove that ability to glitch it out, which they definitely can, that wouldn't be that hard of a fix. That would, the run game would still be powerful, it would still be the go-to, but that would definitely help. That would be a big help if you do that, plus make those fixes in the pass game that, have kind of been rumored. I think that will help the next 5 months of the game. I don't think it's going to make the gameplay great. I don't think it's going to make the game great. I don't think it's going to make the game not frustrating, but I think it definitely helps. I think if you can do those few things, you create a little bit more balance. It's still going to be run heavy. It's still going to be harder to pass for sure, but at least making that effort to, fix those last few things could at least help improve the life of the game at least a little bit. And I do think we're going to see those tweaks happen. Just from what I've kind of heard, it sounds like they're going to try to do that. In terms of like abilities and stuff like that, I don't think we're not going to see any more abilities this late in the year. We're not going to see any X factors change. That's done for the year. We're just going to see those last few, if they care about the customer base and their player base, and we've been complaining about it long enough now, I think they'll put those last few things in there to help preserve the life of the game going into 21. And hopefully in 21, we get a much more balanced game than we did this year. No, it's easier said than done sometimes, but hopefully they can definitely help that out, because this is one of the most unbalanced years that I can remember from a Madden game. So that's really all. That's what you should look for in the update. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it informative. If you did, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Check out some of these other videos right here. And as always, I will see you guys next time.